Hi friends, welcome to my channel, Yaya's Heart Tarot. I'm doing a little bit different setup today. I wanted to be outside, so it's kind of a weird angle, and I'm not on camera with this one, but I wanted to go ahead and do some messages from spirit readings, some messages from departed loved ones for you. So, hopefully this will go over okay. I, again, have kind of an odd setup, so I'm not exactly sure what to expect, but we're going to give this a try. So I'm going to do 3 groups, 3 pick of cards, and I'll show you each one of the groups, and you can pick which one calls to you, and we'll get started with the reading. When the video is up, there will be links to each reading in the description, so you can just go straight to the description and click on the link for the reading that you've chosen. So let's see, group number 1 is White Buffalo Woman. Let's see if I can get this on camera here for you. Sorry about that. White Buffalo Woman, Unity, and number 35, and that is with the leopard skin Jasper Zuni bear. Leopard skin Jasper Zuni bear with White Buffalo Woman. Okay. So group number 2 is Affirmation and Confirmation. The card number is 2, and the charm is a butterfly. So Affirmation, Confirmation, 2, and Butterfly. That's group 2. Group 3 is Ishtar and Passion, and the number is 16. Interesting, I had a message today that referenced the number 16, so maybe this reading is for me as well. The charm is a Noreena Jasper heart. So Ishtar, number 16, Noreena Jasper heart. That's group number 3. So take a moment and feel into which group calls to you, and we will go ahead and get started. Okay, so group number 1, this is your reading. Also, I forgot to mention at the beginning, I'm going to use both oracle cards and tarot cards, I think. And then I'm also going to use these Kipper cards to sort of help to define who it is that's coming through for you. Kipper cards are very literal cards, unlike some tarot and oracle cards, which are sort of more metaphorical. So let's go ahead and get our first position, which is, in fact, who is coming through for you. So, you know what, I think I'm just going to start with the Kipper cards, see what we get from that. So, Spirit, thank you for these clear guided messages, these uplifting guided messages for group number 1. Please let them know who it is that's coming through for them. With White Buffalo Woman, Unity, and the Zuni bear. Okay, so for position number 1, who's coming through for you? We got gathering, we got waiting, and we got sad news. So I feel like this individual passed maybe during a surgery. I feel as though there were a lot of people waiting. There may have been an accident that happened, and a number of people were gathered at the hospital waiting to hear what happened, if the person was going to be all right, and they received sad news. So I believe this person passed suddenly. I believe that there was a lot of family members gathered, awaiting news, and the news that they received was that the loved one had passed. So hopefully that will give some indication of who this would be for you. I think I'm going to go ahead and get some tarot cards just to further determine who this is. Spirit, could you give us any clarification, please, as to who is coming through for group 1? Who is coming through for them? Actually, let's go ahead and do position number 2. Position number 2 is, how is this person related to you? So let's go ahead and do that position. That might give us some more confirmation and clarity as to who is coming through. Spirit, group number 1, who is coming through? How is this person related to them? How is this individual related to group number 2? Okay, so we have got the Hanged Man, the Two of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the High Priestess. Okay, so this individual was related to you. Interesting. You two were connected somehow in a way that other people didn't realize that you were connected. This may have been, I'm getting a picture of possibly for some of you that this could have been someone that you were dating, possibly either already engaged or soon to be engaged to, that your family didn't really know of this individual. You hadn't really, it hadn't come out of the closet, I'm hearing. Hadn't come out of the closet yet. So people weren't really aware of this connection, but it was someone that you were very much connected to one-on-one, possibly a romantic or intimate relationship. I feel as though with this card, this Knight of Swords, that this is something that you both considered very sacred, and that you had made a verbal pact about this. So you may have already been engaged, but you hadn't announced it yet. You were waiting to announce this. It was a secret. So I feel like that's the most likely scenario for those of you who are listening. Other possibilities are that this individual, this may have been, it could have been someone that you knew through like a business, that you were going into a business venture, a partnership with, something like that. But regardless of the actual relationship, this was someone that you were connected to, most likely one-on-one, that you had verbally committed to this individual, but you had not made that public yet. You had not told anyone, or not many people anyway, about that. So Spirit, thank you for those messages. Could we, what is group 2's question for their departed loved one? What is their query for the departed loved one from group 2? What do they want to know? What does group 2 want to know from their departed loved one? I feel like we need a different deck here, and actually I'm being drawn back to the Kipper deck, so let's see. What does group 2 want to know from their departed loved one? What is it that group 2 would like to know from their departed loved one, please, Spirit? Maybe you don't have a specific question for your loved one. Okay, that's definitely possibly here the case. We got the Knight of Cups and we got the Tower. Yeah, I feel as though you're in a place now that you can't even really think about this person. Perhaps this is very new, very fresh, or it was such a shock that you can't even think about this person without breaking down. So you don't really have a question for this departed loved one, because it's just too painful to even think about them, to think about them being gone. So, Spirit, what would Group Two's departed loved one like them to know? What does the departed loved one for Group Two want them to know? Okay, so we got the Three of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. If this was a romantic relationship, if this was a union that was consummated, either you, Group One, or your departed loved one is carrying a child from this union, or was perhaps carrying a child. There was. This may be a pregnancy that has come to fruition. There may be a child from this union. There may be a pregnancy right now, or there may have been a brief conception that did not implant. So you may not have known about this pregnancy even. And I apologize, this is really a hard message. I'm not sure why I'm being given this message, but it's what I'm being told, so I just am wanting to put it out there. So Spirit, can you give us some more clarity on this situation, please? Can you give us some more clarity on what the departed wants Group One to know? What does the departed want Group One to know? Page of Cups. What else? And the Two of Cups. Yeah, there was most definitely a love child from this relationship. If this was for some of you, a relationship that was intimate, that was potentially on its way to a marriage or a long-term relationship, there was or is a child from this relationship. Spirit, what message do you have for Group One with regard to what you want them to know about this child, or about this child? What do you want them to know? Five of Pentacles. And the Tower reversed. Your loved one is saying that even though you feel very alone in this, they want you to know that they're always there with you, and they will hold you up even when things feel like they're falling apart. They want you to know that even though they can't be there in body, they are certainly there in spirit, and they will give you signs. You see all of these stars on this card. That's their promise, that they will always give you a sign when things look bleak, when things seem like they're falling apart. They want you to know that they're always going to be there to support you. So look for the signs. Talk to your departed loved one, and they will send you signs to let you know that they're still there supporting you through everything. So going back to the oracle card that we drew in the beginning, White Buffalo Woman, Unity. Let's see what the book has to tell us about that. White Buffalo Woman. Supernatural white buffalo woman visited the Lakota people and taught them to live in harmony. She came from the stars, and gave people the holy Chanunpa, peace pipe. She taught them about Mother Earth, the origins of humanity, and the 7 sacred rituals. The origins of humanity. This is an origin story here. She explained the changes that will come to unite all the tribes of the earth. The rare white buffalo, her earthly manifestation, holds great symbolic significance. White buffalo woman returns to you now to remind you that we are all of one family. Put aside your ego and differences and remember what unites us. Division is weak, unity is powerful. Keywords are unity, peace, harm no one, caring, diversity, freedom, teamwork, healthy group dynamics, cooperation, peaceful accord, sharing, growth, solution-oriented, and accountability. And the shadow of this card is disunity, war, harming others, totalitarianism, division, problem-focused, peer pressure, enemies, corruption, shifting blame, and enslavement. So this card comes here to tell you, well, again, I think that this is a message from the spirit realm that your departed loved one is still with you, and they will always send you signs if you look for them to help you out in your darkest moments. So group 2, I hope that this helped. I'm sorry for this difficult message. If this resonated with you, I'm grateful. If it didn't, this may not be your group. And I know that message was fairly specific, but there may be sort of a twist on it that may be different. Again, if this was like a work relationship, it could be that you were left with this startup company that maybe they had already put some, the beginnings of this into place. And so now you're left with some debt, perhaps. They want you to know, if that's the case, that even though it feels like you're alone and it feels like things are falling apart at times, they're still there, and this is going to be the start of a very lucrative business for you. So they want you to hang on. So if that's your situation, then there's another message there for you. So, okay, group 2, or group 1, excuse me, that's what I have for you. Next, we'll move on to group 2, which is affirmation, confirmation, and the butterfly. So group 2, we are going to start with the Kipper cards here to get a specific idea of who it is that's coming through for you. Spirit, thank you for these messages. And who is it that is coming through for group 2, please? Who's coming through for group 2? Who is coming through for group 2? Could we get some more information, please, Spirit? Who is coming through, please, for group 2? Okay. Okay, group 2. So for you, we got false person, sad news, house, and unexpected money. Your departed loved one was someone who kept something from you. And it may have had to do with your finances, in particular with regard to your house. There may have been a situation where you were on the verge of, or actually did lose your home, because there was no money. And this individual didn't tell you that. So this could be someone, or this could be someone who lost their home, and they didn't tell you about it because they wanted to protect you. And they may have left you some money. So this may have been like a parent or a grandparent. This may have been someone who suffered some hardship that they didn't want to tell anyone about, and that their loved ones only found out about it after their death. And it was something that led them to have to possibly leave their home, or after they died, it was found that their house was in a much worse state of disarray than people had thought originally. So that's who this person was. Spirit, how was this individual related to group 2, please? How was group 2 related to this individual? Already we've got the Wheel of Fortune that came out. So this unexpected money that possibly was an inheritance came to you, and you had no idea that you would have inherited money from this individual. You may not have even known this individual much. It could be that they were, because they were this false person, it could be that that wasn't so much that they lied, but just that they really kept to themselves. So you may not have even known much about them. It could be that this was, a grandparent that you didn't see very often, or some aunt or uncle that you really didn't even know about. And it was quite a surprise to discover that they may have left something to you. Possibly even this house. They may have even left a house to you. Spirit, could we get some more clarity on how group 2 is related to this departed loved one? How is group 2 related to the departed, please? The Empress. Empress and Wheel of Fortune. Ooh. Well, group 2, it's possible that you are adopted, and that this is your, this may be a blood relative, perhaps even your mother, that you didn't know about. And you only found out that this person was your mother or relative after they died, because they left you money. They named you in their life insurance or their will, and they left money to you. But you may not have even known that about them. You may not have even known that you were adopted. Because with this false person here, there was some secret that was kept from you. So that may be how you were related to this individual. Spirit, thank you for that message. So, group 2, what question might you have for your departed loved one? Let's see. I think this deck is the one that we need. What question does group 2 have for their departed? Nine of Swords. Okay, and we just had a card fly. Put some boxes on some of this stuff so that we don't lose the cards here, and I'll go get that other card. Hang on. Let's see what else we got over here. Okay, so your question, we got the Nine of Swords and we got the Tower. Yeah, so group 2, not surprisingly, your question is, why did they give you up for adoption? That's what you want to know from your departed. Yeah, the Devil, the Five of Wands, the Seven of Cups, the Nine of Cups. Yeah, there's a lot of confusion for you as to why they gave you up. You feel like it was a terribly hard thing for you to learn about, to understand. You feel like that they had to have had the choice to be able to keep you. They had to have had other choices that they could have made, and that you fear that They didn't love you. So you want to know why they gave you up. That's your question, group 2. Why did they give you up? I'm sorry for this difficult message, group 2. So let's get a reply from them. We had another card that flew here, so let me go get that. The card that flew was the Oracle card of Brigid, a lot of different ways people pronounce it, and it's the card of partnership. So that has to do with their reply to you. I feel like these Kipper cards might help us. Spirit, what's your reply to group 2 as to why you gave them up for adoption? Why did you give up? Okay, we got alliance. We've got partnership and we've got alliance. So I feel as though either this may have been a conception that was not from an ongoing relationship. This could have been a relationship that broke up. And so the departed was unable to raise a child themselves. They didn't have the means, perhaps. This may have been a child that was from a previous relationship that didn't last, and they got into a new relationship, and the new partner was not able to take on the responsibility of being a parent to someone else's child. This is a hard message. I'm very sorry. I want to get some additional cards on this. Spirit, what more can you tell us about why group 2 may have been given up? The wise one. I feel as though the departed just knew that if they brought you into this new relationship, that you would not be accepted, that things would be very difficult for you, that you would be mistreated, that you would not be accepted. So they didn't want to bring you into that situation. They felt that they were not going to be able to protect you the way that they wanted to. Yeah, the King of Swords. They didn't feel as though they could, they didn't feel as though they could protect you in this new relationship. So they did not want to jeopardize you. They didn't want to put you in danger. So they felt that the best thing to do was to allow someone who could provide you a better environment to adopt you. Because the relationship that they were in, this new partnership that they were in, this new alliance that they were in, I'm hearing was abusive. And there may have even been some physical abuse while the departed was pregnant. And so they feared for the safety, for your safety. So that may be why, that's what I'm hearing, that's why that you were given up for adoption. Spirit, is there any additional message that you would like to give to group 2? Is there any message that you'd like to pass along to group 2, please? And thank you for these messages. 7 of Wands. What else? What else, Spirit? Can you clarify this for me? 2 of Coins and the Death card. Yeah, they really, really felt like it was them against the world, that they just couldn't keep things in balance, and they wanted to protect you. Absolutely, they wanted you out of harm's way. So that's why they ended up putting you up for adoption. They just felt like they didn't have anyone on their side, and that bringing you into the world and having you with them would put you in even worse danger perhaps than they were in. And they just didn't think that there was any way that they could balance out the situation that would be safe for you and that would lead to you having a life that would develop into anything that was worthwhile, they wanted you to be happy and successful and to really become something. And they knew that the current situation that they were in would not be able to provide that to you. So that's why they ended up needing to give you up for adoption. So Spirit, thank you for those messages. Let's take a look at the Oracle card that we started out with, Affirmation and Confirmation. These are usually kind of tricky cards. Number 2. Oh, let's see. I don't remember what exactly these cards do. Okay. Confirmation number 2. The full wine glass is symbolic of yes. This card reaffirms the confirmation of your question, particularly the immediate goddess card or cards near it. Affirmation is the positive aspect of the whole. So this card reaffirms the confirmation of your question. So we're just getting a confirmation that your question of why you were given up for adoption, the answer that we got is the appropriate answer. So it speaks of cards near it, and the card that we had that flew out and became part of the reading was Brigide. So let's see what that card says, because sometimes that message is connected. So let's take a look at that one. We've also got quite a bunch of blue jays in the background. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're quite vocal. Blue jays to me are always sort of antagonistic communication, actually. Brigide is one of the classic triple goddesses of the Celts and may appear as a maiden, mother, or crone. Brigide is a seer into the other world of Avalon and the fairy realm. She is a protector of children and animals. You see, this is the protector of children and animals. Your mother wanted to protect you. And is the inspirational muse of healing, poetry, and smithcraft. The oak tree is sacred to her, and she is often associated with fire. The woven four-pointed cross is her symbol, representing onset into spring equinox from winter solstice. Brigide communes with you now and offers you the beautiful gift of loyal partnership or friendship with another and all the blessings of mutually relating to each other. So, your departed loved one is wanting to connect with you from the beyond, and they are affirming that giving you up was their way of protecting you, and that was what was the most important thing to them above all. So that's what I have for you, group 2, and we will be moving on to group 3. Okay, group 3, this is your reading. We've got Ishtar with Passion, number 16, and the Noreena Heart. So, the first question that we want to ask is, who is coming through for you? Who is your departed that is coming through in this reading for you? I've been using the Kipper cards because these cards are very literal, and so they give us a pretty good indication of who this person was. So Spirit, who is coming through for group 3, please? Who is coming through for group 3? Long path. Have some more, please, Spirit. This individual was old when they died. Very old. I'm hearing 98. So they were well into their 90s, I would guess, possibly in their 80s. But they were very old, and they were very healthy right up until when they died. They had a long and fruitful life. Yeah, alliance. They were. They probably had a very long marriage as well. That was a very loving marriage, where they had some sort of a long-term partnership that served them well throughout their life. Spirit, thank you for those messages. And we got main female person. So I'm guessing that this was a woman. Or else this person had a strong feminine nature about them. Okay, so this was an individual who lived a very long and happy life that was aligned with someone else. It was a very rewarding partnership for them. Okay, Spirit, thank you for that. And how was this individual related to group 3, please? How were you related to them, group 3? How was group 3 related to the departed, please? Okay, group 3, how were you related to the departed? Five of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, the Temperance card, and the Sun. We've got an energy of waiting here. We've got an energy of a long, and working for a long time, putting in long, hard work and being very patient. I feel as though this person was quite reserved. They weren't really very necessarily forthcoming with praise, but they weren't unkind either. You were always happy to be around them, but they weren't someone who just gave you stuff or they weren't just somebody who showered you with all kinds of cake and candy and presents and whatnot. They actually taught you how to work. They taught you how to be patient. They were someone who had just like amazing lessons to teach you. You learned so much from them. But I'm getting the feeling that perhaps toward the end of their life, they may have started having some dementia or some confusion. There may have been a stroke that happened to them toward the end of their life. That could be what this Sun card, this child looks like they're being blinded by the sun. So it could be that this woman or this individual, toward the end of their life, I'm getting very strong energy of that they may have had a stroke or a sudden illness, a sudden occurrence. Could have even been a head injury, a fall or something, but I'm getting like a flash. So I feel as though it was a stroke that they had that caused them to have some confusion at the end. And that confusion, because they had always been such a strong and steady individual who taught you so much, was really hard for you to see. It was really hard for you to see them going through that. So, Spirit, thank you for those messages. What does group 3 want to know from their departed loved one? What do you want to know, group 3, from your departed loved one? Let's see. I think we'll stay with this deck. What do you want? What question do you have, or what would you like to know from them? From messages do you need, group 3, from your departed loved one? What messages, what question, queries do you have for your departed? It's too many, sorry. Spirit, clear guided messages, please. Thank you. Eight of Swords. You are worried about them. If this caused them anguish, you want to know if this sudden event that caused them confusion, if it caused them anguish, did they know that they were confused? Was it really hard for them to, I mean, did they see that they were having this confusion? Did they understand that? And was it something that they struggled against? That's what you want to know from your loved one. Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, Page of Swords, the Chariot. Yeah, you, again, you want to know, was this hard on them? Was it really hard on them to have this sudden loss of understanding? Like they lost control of their mind, of their thinking, which was one of their strongest attributes. And you want to know if that caused them a lot of anguish. Spirit, thank you for those messages. So, group 3, let's see what reply we can get from your departed loved one. Departed from group 3. What answer do you have for them with regard to their question? What reply do you have? 2 more. Reply for group 3. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So, their reply, the Star. No, they'd already left their body. Their soul had already moved on when this happened. In fact, that kind of was the event that moved their soul from this dimension to the next. Yeah, the Hanged One. They had a completely different perspective of things. It wasn't suffering at all for them. They really were basically their soul had left their body and they had a higher perspective of everything. And in fact, this was kind of a blessing to them. Even though in this dimension they seemed like they were confused, in actuality they were able to see even more brilliantly what they had seen when they were here in this life. They were very wise in this life, but this event took their consciousness into another realm, which allowed them to see things even more brilliantly. This was kind of a beautiful event, actually. Most people, you know, we're here, then we die, and we're in the next realm, we're in the next dimension. But this event that your loved one had allowed them to be in both dimensions at the same time. So they, even though they couldn't communicate it to you, they had a brief period of time where even though they seemed confused to you, to those who saw them from this realm, they actually had a view above, a perspective that was beyond what we can even attain while we're here. So it was really a very, very beautiful time for them, in actuality, which I'm surprised by that answer. So I'm grateful that you asked it, because that's an amazing revelation. So thank you, Spirit, for those messages. And loved ones of group 3, what do you have any additional messages that you'd like to pass along to your loved one in group 3? The Tower reversed. Spirit, can we have any additional clarification on this? The Tower reversed, and the Ace of Cups. Yeah. Yeah, so what they want you to know is, even though this felt like everything was crumbling around you when they died, I mean, it was a very devastating thing to you. But the reverse of this is saying that in reality, even though it felt that way to you, don't see it as this devastating ending. The Ace of Cups, it's actually a beginning. It's a new beginning for them. It's a new beginning for you, because they've been able to pass along to you this amazing insight that they had when this event happened, that caused them to transition from this world to the next, and how they had a brief interval where they could be in both worlds at the same time. They want you to know that, because that is an amazing revelation. I mean, I'm getting choked up. Just knowing that that's a possibility is such an amazing gift. And they want you to know that. They want you to have that gift. As you move on through your life, they want you to know that that's a possibility. They want you to know of the beauty of the next life. So they're passing that beautiful message on to you. Whew, wow. Group 3, that is amazing. Let's take a look at your oracle card here, which is Ishtar and Passion, number 16. So, Ishtar, voluptuous Babylonian goddess Ishtar, is both lover and warrior. She is associated with tantric sexuality, as everything in the universe relates to a divine sexual energy. Ishtar is the great inspiration for all living things to connect with the sacred frequencies of sexual passion. Patriarchal worshippers attempt to demonize her as a harlot. The 8-pointed star is her symbol, and the lion is her animal representation. Ishtar calls out to you to awaken and come alive. Be seduced by your senses and passions for what excites you. So, group 3, I think this is a message from your loved one. They want you to know how truly tactile and vibrant and passionate everything is, and how they were able to see that even at an even higher level when they moved out from this dimension to the next, and had that brief moment or that interval where they could have one foot in both realms, and be able to compare and be able to pull in the amazing passion and creativity and vibrance of the next realm into this realm, and to be able to see kind of the echoes of that here. And they want you to reach for that. They want you to live this life as though you also can have a foot in the next dimension, not in the sense of foot in the grave, dying, like so many people like to talk about, but a foot in the glory, in the beauty of the next realm that is, so much more vibrant and beautiful and bright and passionate. So that's what they want you to know, group 3. So I hope this helped. I hope this resonated for you. What a beautiful message. That's what I have for you, and I wish you all the best, and thank you for joining me.